This tutorial will show you how to create a basic event in CiviCRM. These instructions are not specific to any particular organization. If your site is in Drupal 7, the steps will be the same. For questions, please submit a support conversation at support.oneeach.com, or if you are in Basecamp working on a new site, please post a new Basecamp message for your project team, and don't forget to watch any other helpful tutorials on our support site. To get started, we are going to start in CiviCRM. If you, as long as you are an admin or an editor, you will be able to create events within CiviCRM. In the admin menu in CiviCRM, you should see a little link for events. If you scroll over events, you'll see a drop-down or a link for new event within that drop-down. Click on new event. And that will take you to a screen where you can create a new event. If you have a template, of course, you can create from a template. We're not going to do that today. You will want to pick an event type. These event types do not show up on the event themselves. They are just used for reporting purposes. Today is going to be a meeting. Your default role, again, this does not appear anywhere on the actual event. This is just used for reporting or searching or filtering if you are using, or I should say, if you are creating an event that has registration. We are going to set this default role to attendee. Most everybody, your role will be attendee, just to let you know. Participant listing, please leave that disabled. That is actually, if you do open this up and you do have registration, if I were to register, and this were set to name and email, then once I register, I would be able to see the name and the email address of everybody else who's registered. Most people do not want their information out there like that. So I'm going to just suggest that you go ahead and leave this as disabled. We're going to come on in here and we're going to, in event title, just say new meeting. Skip the event summary. And come on down here into your complete description, and you can put your meeting details in here. Meeting details. Okay. And of course, you can use the formatting toolbar in here to make sure that certain details are sticking out on the page. Of course, you want to have a start and end date. They do not have to be on the same date. They always can be. So if I wanted this to be on the 31st of August, let's say this meeting starts at 11 a.m. and it ends on the 31st of August. Otherwise, it'd be a very long meeting. And we'll say that goes to 1 p.m. I don't have a maximum number of participants. I could include a map to the location if I want to. If I want this event to be out on my monthly calendar, or if you have an events feed, whether it's on your homepage or on an internal page and link a sidebar, if you mark this event as public, that means it will be public out on your calendar. It will be added to an events feed or to a calendar so other people can see that. If you do not want that to be a public event, maybe this is a meeting that I need to send the link of this meeting to people. It's kind of an invite-only situation. I can keep this event off of my calendar or off of my event feeds if I want to. So it's kind of a hidden event. But in this case, we're going to make sure that it's public. I can also allow it to share through social media if I want. And then, of course, I can also make sure that this event is active. If you don't want to include a map or if you don't want to share through social media, of course, you can always pick and choose your options. Don't forget that any changes that you make to your event will always be able to be, again, updated or changed or adjusted. So nothing is ever set in stone. Once you've created that first little page, it'll dump you on a second tab, which is event location. Now you can always click this little info and settings tab up here to bring you back to the information that you just entered. Now I am going to, in my event location, choose an address, a country, email, phone number. Some of your sites, you might see a drop down with existing locations. If you enter a location in here, it will automatically save that for you. That way you do not have to put in that location all over again. If there is not an event location, if everybody should know where that is, then you can always skip event location. If there is a fee associated with this event, that's when I could come in here and say, yes, this is a paid event, and update the information. Now, this is just a basic meeting, so we are not going to go into paid events. I'm also not going to need online registration, as this is an event that somebody just needs to show up at a date and a time, and that's it. But if I do wanted to enable registration, I can fill out the information under the online registration tab. You also have the ability to schedule reminders. You can tell a friend. You can also, we are not going to use personal campaigns for events. Personal campaigns are solely used for contribution pages. So please note, if you are creating a page for personal campaigns, those do have to be contributions. Now, last but not least, you also have a repeat option if you want this to repeat several days, a month, a year, 2 years. You can set this up. So if I need this to repeat, it's going to start obviously on the 31st, which is a Friday. If I want it to repeat every week on Friday, I could do that. Or if I wanted it to repeat every, third week on Friday, I can also make sure that that happens. I do have the ability to end it after a certain number of time or on a specific date. So if I want to say, okay, I only want it to go until the 14th, then we can do that. I can also exclude dates. So if there are, holidays or other events that are happening, I can always exclude multiple dates within here and make sure that they don't show up on those dates. If I want to save my information, I can go ahead and save my repeat. It's going to ask you to, double check any dates. And then you can save. Once you have created a repeat occurrence, you can always come back in and edit anything for that repeat. Now, again, feel free to come in to your info and settings in your location. Good old Somewhere Ave. Yeah. Okay. And of course, you could have an email, so it could be good old 55555. Okay. And don't worry about adding in a latitude and longitude. Now, because I have this as a repeating event, anytime you create an event and you set it as a repeat, it's going to ask you, do you want to edit just this event, every event in the future, or every event ever? That includes any that were in the past as well. You can always pick and choose. So if I only want this, for this one, or just every single one of them, I can kind of pick and choose that option. Okay. So now that I have saved this information, if I want to see what this event looks like, everybody should have a little button for event links above this meeting, or above the information for this meeting. And you should see the option for event info. Now, you'll also see an option for registered participant, but because we are not using registration, if I go into event info, I should be able to see this event really quickly. And it's going to be very basic because all I've done is I've put in a title, a little bit of meeting detail, just a few little meeting details. It's going to tell me when this event is, where this event is, and if there's a contact person or a phone number or anything else. Now, if I am allowing a map to show, it will show my map. If you see that your event details here, your location, your time, if these are not aligned or organized nicely within this area, please submit a support conversation at support.oneeach.com and have our team align these for you. We can make sure that these events look nice. Now, once you've created this event, it should also show up on your calendar. Most of your sites should have a monthly calendar at /calendar. And now I should see down here that I've got a new meeting happening at 11 a.m. If it was repeating, I could also go to the future months and see the repeat. And of course, if I click on the title in the calendar, it should take me to my event and show me my event. Also, please note that you have the ability to have our team switch this background image out. So if you don't like the image that's on this specific event, We can switch that out. Those images do need to be 2,000 pixels wide by at least 1,000 pixels tall. And be aware of where your column for this form sits. If you guys have a column that is to the left, to the right, or in the center, if you switch out that background image, you need to make sure that the image, the action in the image isn't going to potentially be covered by that column. Our team only has so much wiggle room with that image that they can do. So again, please be aware of your image selection. If you have any questions about how to create a basic event in CiviCRM, please go ahead and contact our support at support.1h.com. We are available 24/7 to help out.